Hey, welcome back. It's July 24th, 2023. We're here once again at the Hotel Orloff. About almost 5 o'clock p.m. And let's see. Oh, I wanted to show you we've made some changes here in the lobby to the hotel store. Let's go in here and let's take a look. We've been reorganizing a bit. We now have Elvira press-on nails available in the lobby. And and we have all these new this new selection of bubblegum cards.
That begins the greatest American story ever told, and ends somewhere east of Eden.
Here, lots of stuff available. Anyway, if you guys want to look at paperbacks, we can do that sometime. Notice AFTA Comics had a video up recently showing really cool comic book paperbacks. Be glad to do that sometime. You need to put down in the chat down below what you'd like to see here on this channel, and that'll help us out. See, I need to go upstairs and get some stuff done. Boy, I look really bad. I need to shave, I guess. What am I doing? Oh. I was going to record some cartoons while we I was going to record some cartoons. Oh my gosh. I was going to record some cartoons while we go upstairs and look at comics, and so just have to give me a moment or so. All right, Drew. I'm going through this playlist. It's taking me forever. I put too many things on the playlist. I've got 784 things on the playlist, and what I want is at the very end. So I think we're almost there. Maybe. So, what have you been up to? It's been a long time since we did a show here from Rural Retreat, Virginia. Historic Rural Retreat, Virginia. Home of Dr. Pepper, the Civil War surgeon that invented the concoction of Dr. Pepper made of 47 intoxicants, pollutants, and poisons. He put it together in his drugstore right here in Rural Retreat, Virginia, about a block from here. Of course, that drugstore has since burned down, and some people are trying to restore it, build it back better, as it were. But anyway, Dr. Pepper's grave is not too far from here. So if people tell you it was invented in Waco, they are incorrect. What is this? You're kidding me. Oh, there it goes. Yes, they're incorrect, ladies and gentlemen. Man, this is true. Oh, boy. Well, so put down in the comments down below how you're doing. Oh, I mailed a disc out this morning to Gary Davis. And then Todd E. Walnuts, I've got a couple of discs ready to mail to you. My wife has your address. She knows how to get into PayPal, and I guess I need to have her show me how to do that, because yeah, that would be good. Have you guys seen this? Let me show you something. Have you seen this group here? I don't know if you're aware of.
The hottest band in the world, Mini. Put your hands together.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were aware of that there was a band called Mini Kiss, but now you're aware of it, so you have something to look up on. Okay, I finally found what I want to record. It's the Comic Color Cartoon Complete Compilation from the 1930s. It's 3 hours and 8 minutes long. It's on my playlist, July 2083, and it took me forever to get down because it's at the very bottom. So I get my DVD-R recorder remote control, and I'll put it in the standard play. There's actually another speed called XP that only gives you an hour on a disc. SP is perfectly fine. It'll capture everything. Everything is not high definition when you record it on a DVD-R, but it looks like DVDs, used to. And this is by recording from YouTube through a HDMI to RCA plug converter, and then into your old DVD-R that you'll have to buy off of eBay because they don't make them anymore, because they don't want you to own things. They want you to stream everything, and it's all part of the Build Back Better World Economic Forum agenda. Okay. All right. Looks good. Get this recording. All right. All right. Well, let's go upstairs. We've tarried long enough down here in the lobby. Okay, let's turn off these lights. Yeah, so we're recording this. All right, so well, it hasn't been a very good few days. We are running very low on money, and just subsisting on sandwiches and popcorn, things like that. It's not a. But it's better than starving. But it's all because Bidenomics is so wonderful. Anyway, things will get better. It'd be real good if you guys would order some episodes of Tomb of Terror, ladies and gentlemen. That would really help out, but I don't think that's going to happen. But if you wanted to order some episodes, it's episodes 1 through 32 are available. I think I might do an episode 33 tomorrow. And they're $20 each, which is what Something Weird VHS tapes cost 30 years ago. And it's postage paid. And I'm plugging in my phone, sorry. And if you order 4 or more, I think what I'm going to do, Toddy Walnuts wanted me to hold on to the discs until, because if you order 4 or more, you get them for $16 each. And so I think I'm going to he sent 40, so I think I'm just going to send him 3 discs, and because I've been waiting for a while, and I feel weird about it. Anyway, so I'll do that tomorrow. Hold on a second. Anyway, the show I created is called The Tomb of Terror, and it's a collection of clips from movies. What? Clips from movies, movie trailers, commercials, all kinds of stuff. Music, cartoons, all kinds of stuff that you will enjoy. Hold on a second. This light isn't working. Something's wrong with this light. There we go. Oh, wow, that was bad. Okay. So. Gotta figure out a way to mount this camera so we can do a comic book, funny book show. Okay. Here's some books I need to file. What is this? All right, let's take a look at what we got. Let's go through this box, and then I'd like to add in some books, possibly. Got these 2 books that Spirit and Plastic Man. I got this for $2. It's autographed. Plastic Man faces his greatest challenge in this thrill-packed, action-jammed issue. Now, I can't read this at all. Wait, I've got my magnifying glass. I forgot I had this, man. Okay, this is a reprint comic from 1964. So to some people this would be practically worthless, and it's not in very good condition, as you can see. But it's Plastic Man, and if you can get Golden Age art for $2 plus amazing ads like that, You know, comics that come out today cost what, $5, $6? But instead you could get a beat up Silver Age comic reprinting Golden Age comics. I'm trying to remember, this is a company called Super Comics. I think these were, am I correct in saying these were unauthorized reprints? I think I am. Anyway, I'm going to put this in with these Golden Age, or Atomic Age, Uranium Age, whatever you want to call them, Atom Age. Some people consider the Golden Age to last up to 57 when the Flash was started over again. And then others kind of think, you know, the Golden Age was the World War II era. And then after the atomic bomb, things kind of changed during that baby boom era. So I'm kind of in the camp of adding in an extra age in there. Anyway, and this one is another one from Super Comics. It's another reprint. In this case, The Spirit. Well, so beautiful Will Eisner art in a 1960s package. I'm sure this is also a 1964 comic. So, yeah, reprinted in USA, 1964. And of course, Plastic Man and The Spirit both come from the same art studio. So I think this company, Super Comics, got a hold of some old original art, and we're reprinting this stuff briefly in 1964. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, I see. I gotta get that other box. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. You'll notice, if you've been watching a while, episodes before, I would have the hardest time standing up. I was really, and it was this way last year. It seems like in the spring I got really, I don't know, arthritic or something. I could barely stand up. And then once the summer came, I was a lot better off. And it, I suppose it could be humidity or something. I don't know, man. I'm an amateur at being an old person. I'm just starting to learn what it's like to be incredibly old. Okay. I see what's going on. Let's see. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. Let's go through our older books. I'm not a big-time comic person. My people always correct me down in the comments when I say my collection is not the greatest. They'll say, "Oh no, it is." Yeah, no, it really isn't. Because I've collected many, as I said, many different kinds of things over the years. Records and movie posters and toys. I've always been kind of scattershot. So here's Ben Bowie and his Mountain Men. I guess Ben Bowie is like David Bowie's, I'm sorry, Jim Bowie's, I'm getting all mixed up, Jim Bowie's cousin. I mean, the guy that invented the Bowie knife was named Bowie, right? And then David Bowie is Bowie, you know. But in that Paul Revere and the Raiders song, actually I think they were just going by Raiders at that time, Cherokee Nation, they talk about the tomahawk and the Bowie, I think they say Bowie knife. I don't know, crazy. People need to get it together and learn how to pronounce things. Black Diamond Western. This seems very, I don't know, maybe yeah, this isn't Marvel. What am I talking about? Anyway, isn't that amazing? Yeah. Black Diamond Western. That's reminding me of the Mini Kiss video we just watched. I need to go watch Mini Kiss perform Black Diamond. All right, what are we trying to get to? The P's to put Plastic Man here in here. Here's Blazing West. Stripling's was a store back in Fort Worth. Yeah. Juvenile Shoe Department, 2nd floor, Fort Worth, Texas. Stripling's. The buildings are still there for Stripling's back in Fort Worth. I used to live near Fort Worth for many decades. Here's an issue of Candy. Here's Curtis Miracle Aid. This is basically an Archie imitation, but they don't imitate the Archie art like a lot of Archie imitations do. It's another issue of Candy, but without a cover. Here's Captain Midnight, number 54 from 1947. My father told me he used to read Captain Midnight, but he wouldn't have been 1947. Man, I think that's when he was graduating high school. I don't think he would have been buying Captain Midnight earlier issues than that. Here's a book I was thinking of sending off to CGC. It's probably a 9.8 contender. Look at that. Someone's restored it with some tape. I think they did a pretty good job. Look at that. Anyway, I'm happy with it. Here's Walter Lance's Chilly Willy. Speaking of chili, got up into the 90s today, and it'll be up to 99 on Wednesday. There are more words on the front cover of one of these Charles Biro, Lev Gleason publications than modern comics have the entire book. Back then, they sold more than 6 million copies monthly. Crime does not pay. One of the things Dr. Wortham said in his book, his anti-comic book that he put out in the early 50s, he was saying that these crime comics were causing kids to become juvenile delinquents, to go out and do the same things they see in the comic and become criminals and gang members. The magazine with the widest range of appeal. So he asked kids that were, you know, in juvenile hall, you know, in detention centers, whatever, and sort of, did you read comic books? And they all said yes. So therefore he said conclusively, comic books cause violence. But he didn't ask the kids, do you chew gum? Or do you, you know, they would have said yes to that too, because all kids read comics back then. It was not like it is today. It was just something every kid read. But he pointed out that a lot of times they would have crime in giant letters and then does not pay, or crime, or say criminals, and then it with tiny print would say must pay the penalty. And that is actually kind of true. Crime fighters. But these are wonderful comics, I have to say. Well, this Crime Fighters is in the middle of my Crime Does Not Pay. This is number 61. Man, he's knocking that guy's teeth out on the front cover of the comic. Man, that's terrible. This one is number 114. Now, those ones were saying they had 60 million readers. Now they're saying they have over 100 million copies sold. So this was a big-time business. There's 132. You need to tune into the Meyer Greenblatt channel, because he's shown his collection. He has a far superior collection of these than I do. Here's a Dale Evans coverless DC comic. Now I've got a Dale Evans comic in my one of my hold piles at Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. Kevin is nice enough that he's allowing me to put piles of books and toys on hold, because and he's nicely, you know, waiting till I can afford to buy them. But anyway, I've got a DC Dale Evans on hold there, and because this DC these DC Dale Evans books have really nice art in them. Dale Evans was also, I'm kind of confused, because Dale Evans and Roy Rogers, they had separate comics, and they both had their own comic at Dell, and then it seems like Dale Evans went over to DC, but Roy Rogers stayed at Dell. Anyway, a little confusing. Wonderful stuff. You know, is it better to have the cover on the comic? Yes. I was kidding a few videos back. I said it's better to have the comics with no cover on it, that you get a higher rating at CGC. I was actually kidding. Sometimes I joke, and because I have a deadpan delivery, some people take me seriously. Here's Dollman number 15. How about that? This is the company Quality that they were reprinting from. The Quality put out Plastic Man in the Spirit. Okay, I gotta get that Crime Fighters comic in here. If you play Christmas music, it will make it feel cooler in your house. These are Christmas records that used to play in roller rinks back in the 50s. Here's a Fawcett publication, Don Winslow of the Navy. Oh, that light's not even pointed at me, man. What is going on, man? What's wrong with you, light? Okay, that's better. Here's another Don Winslow of the Navy. Here is Dodo. I don't think it's supposed to be pronounced doo-doo. Funny Animal Circus Stories. Here's a Harvey comic. It's not with my other Harvey comics because it won't fit in the Harvey Comics box. It's too wide. Felix the Cat. Felix the Cat was one of the earliest cartoon characters. before Mickey Mouse, Felix the Cat. Okay, here's Fight Comics number 46 from Fiction House. Fiction House colors tend to fade. Not sure exactly why. Fiction House goes back to the pulp days. They had very wonderful art in these Fiction House books, and people, lots of art. I feel stupid saying good girl art, even though that's the term for it, but just beautiful pinup art kind of style. And I didn't used to feel stupid saying that, but it just, I've seen enough videos on YouTube with I don't want to, never mind. Here's G.I. Joe. Long before the 12-inch G.I. Joe figure was created in 1964, this is 10 years before that, during the Korean War era. It's a beautiful cover. Jambo Comics just got one, the same issue from Gotham City Comics. I don't know. This is probably in about the same condition. Here's Ghostly Weird Comics. Stories. Ghostly Weird Stories. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a rough few days. I look like heck tonight, and I don't feel that bad, but I'm used to hot food. It's sort of like it doesn't count if it's not hot. Am I just sounding crazy like some spoiled American? It's like when you eat a ham sandwich with mayonnaise and bread, it's not hot. Well, it can be if you toast the bread, but that would require going down to the basement where it's a long story. But if you guys would just order a few copies of where you can buy some of these paintings I already have over here. I'll sell paintings to you. I'll sell those paintings to you cheaper because I want to get rid of them. But if you want to commission a painting from me, I'll do it for $100, but I'd have to add postage to that. It's Funny Animals. Here's a wonderful Christmas cover, Gene Autry. Gene Autry, the guy that, original artist that sang Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know that, of course. This is just beautiful art. You know, this is up there with this art. This would be on a comic wall. If someone could show me how to like actually mount a comic wall in here, this would be on there. Even though the cover's like detached, as I recall, it's just beautiful. The colors and everything, the art, the girl's just drawn beautifully. You know, that girl, and then like this girl here. You know, it's like right. It looks like what Dave Stevens would later do in the 80s. Of course, he was very influenced by these old comics. Those Giggle comics. And I don't know if the name of this comic is Goofy Gander or what it is, but because it doesn't have a cover, and however you pronounce it, indicia, I used to call it indica. I don't know how to pronounce that stupid word. But anyway, the little print at the bottom of the comic is a lot of times here. It tells you it's the indicia, I believe. It tells you when it came out, who the publisher was, and the title of the comic. But a lot of times in these older comics, it's actually that is actually on the inside front cover, which is not present here. But it looks like you also have Buster Bunny. Art's pretty good in this, I have to say. I don't know what that comic. You can tell me down in the comments below. Here's Ha Ha Comics. That's, you know, you ask why were they called funny books? Because this is how people perceived comics. They would tell you on the cover, you're supposed to giggle, you're supposed to go ha ha. Oh man, I've got an EC here. What? It's a very poor condition. Haunt of Fear, Haunt of Fear number 9. Well, if I'm putting... Okay. Well, I was putting EC over there, but I was putting EC, the few real ECs I had with the EC reprints, but now I realize since I put Haunt of Fear here, I need to move a couple of Mads that I put over there but into this box. Here's Headline Comics. This is one of the first Golden Age comics I ever got. From Lone Star Comics. It's from 1953. Of course, you can also call it the Atomic Age, the Atom Age, the... Golly Moses, what is that? Is that a roll of fat or is that hair? Man, it's horrible seeing myself on this camera, man. Hopalong Cassidy, who was... This came out in 1951. Hopalong Cassidy then was an old man. He was making movies in the silent era. I put Horror from the Tomb in this box, even though it's a, you know, a reprint book of old stuff. Huckleberry Hound for President. Someone threw darts at this book or something. You know, see all the holes. Yeah. Humbug was... after Harvey Kurtzman walked away from Mad, he tried to start his own new Mad, and he called it Humbug. And it didn't work. It was smaller than a regular comic. Then he tried to start another one with Hugh Hefner, and Hugh Hefner was a big fan of comic art and comic artists, and he funneled tons of money into a magazine called Trump, and it didn't go over well. Of course, Hugh Hefner would bring Harvey Kurtzman back later and had him work for decades doing Little Annie Fanny with Will Elder. And then after Trump failed with Hugh Hefner, he went over to Warren and did a magazine called Help. Here's Indian Fighter. Look, it's Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. John Wayne. John Wayne number 24 from Toby Press. It's cool when you get comics of a certain era all together, I think. That's at least how I like to do it. I didn't used to do it this way. I used to alphabetize everything. But then John Wayne might be next to some 1990s Marvel comic with, and it wasn't as much fun to go through the comics. So then I decided about 4 years ago when I started this YouTube nonsense, I thought I'd split up Bronze Age. Back behind me is Bronze Age. Everything back here is from like 1971 to today, right? And then over here on this wall, everything there is from 1971 back. But I only have a couple of boxes of the really old stuff because I'm not, you know, I was never rich. Jungle Comics. I'm sorry, number 149. It's not that it's small, it's just black ink against a blue background, and that gets harder and harder to see as you get older. You'll find out if you're younger. Jumbo Comics number. Someone just happened to tear out right where the number was, but if I opened it up, I could tell you the number, but that would take too much time. Jumbo 152. So Sheena would appear in Jumbo and Jungle Comics, and then there was actually a Sheena Comics too, right? So she was all over the newsstand. Here's a little Abner comic. Shmoo. Also little Abner. These creatures, the Shmoos, were their only ambition in life was to be eaten by people. So if they see you looking at them and it's clear that you're hungry, licking your lips, whatever, they would drop over dead from sheer excitement and joy, and then you could eat them. They were called Shmoos. From the mind of Al Cap. Now, this is a comic book within a comic because little Abner, the hillbilly, loved this character, Fearless Fosdick, who was obviously based on Dick Tracy, parody of Dick Tracy. Except he was insane. Dick Tracy comic strip was violent and he would shoot people all the time. But in this, he would, shoot at the bad guys and wind up like killing entire crowds of people. And it was ultra insane parody of the violence. Lucy, the Real Gone Gal. Okay, this is another one I got from Lone Star Comics when I was like 12 years old. Lone Star Comics is now mycomicshop.com, but it was a brick and mortar store and back then, and it opened in the summer of '77. I keep talking about that a lot because it was a major thing for me. And when you look at books this old, there's a different feeling you get than when you look at books from the 80s or 90s. Books from the 80s and 90s a lot of them were saved because people thought they were going to become valuable. And they were saved for mercenary purposes. Comics like these from this time period, nobody thought these were going to become valuable. I don't think anyone would have thought someday this comic would be valuable, this Korean War era comic. But someone saved this comic because they loved it, and somehow it survived 70 years, and in some cases longer than that, depending on, 80 years if it's early golden age. So that means that someone loved these books. So what I see when I look at these older books, I see a love that someone had for these books, and it's almost like you have a reverence for them, a respect for them, because these were loved by someone who's probably not around anymore. And you're the custodian of them, and hopefully someday they'll wind up in the hands of someone else that loves them and be preserved, as the historic artifacts that they are. Of course, Captain Marvel Jr. was Elvis Presley's favorite comic book character, and you can see how he modeled himself a little bit after the character. He had used the lightning bolt on his airplane and everything. This Maisie, I always thought she looked a little like Kayleigh McEnany, the press secretary for Donald Trump. But now Trump's mad at her, so I don't think she'll be back as press secretary. We'll say when Trump gets reelected. So if he doesn't get reelected, we're pretty much doomed. Although, no, we're pretty much doomed. I wouldn't mind Robert Kennedy Jr. being president. I wouldn't mind It seems like this Vivek Ramaswamy seems like he's all right too. They haven't done any. They've kind of impressed me, but no, they can come in after Trump. The problem is you realize how transitory, how ephemeral all of this is, because Trump or whoever can do great things, and then someone will come in, and then on the first day they'll just erase everything he did, you know, just with a bunch of executive orders. They'll close down a pipeline, and then all of a sudden our gas prices shoot up, and it just a little scary how but you know, I talk about politics, I will end up always losing viewers, or maybe YouTube is. I got up to 584 subscribers, then I dropped down to 582, and it won't budge over that. For every 3 subscribers you get, you lose 2 or 3. You know. Here's Picture Parades, September 1953. Oh, I think I'm getting up close to. I'm in the P's, so I can put Plastic Man in here in a second. Pee Wee Pixies. Look at this great ad on the back. I need to do more shows up here in the comic room, I guess. What do you think? I think it makes more sense. Oh, more Fiction House. Planet Comics. More Planet Comics. Isn't this great? Wish I could get more of those, man. It just... Plastic. Let me get that EC box and get those mads out of there. Oh! Okay. Okay, this box is labeled ACG Comics and EC Comics. Although this is a Lightning comic, it's not either. Todd Holton Super Green Beret. The ACG Comics are things like this. Well, I didn't mean to start showing you this whole box. They like to have these flaming people on the front covers. I'm pretty sure there's several flaming Human Torch looking people. Sometimes you'll find comics with holes in them like this because some kid put them in their binder. Oh, why is this in here? Here's a Golden Age Little Abner. I need to put it in that other box. Look at this ad. This is it's single series number 18, 1940. This may be my oldest comic book. It's reprints of Sunday Funnies. So it must be the second issue of Little Abner within single series. Okay. One of the greatest compliments ever was in 6th grade. My 6th grade teacher said that I draw like Al Cap. And she thought, and I thought, wow, that's great, because I knew who Al Cap was, and Little Abner, and of course, yeah, that was a great compliment. And then her son was a cartoonist, and then we had to like do a report about, you know, a career that you like to do someday, and they wanted you to interview someone doing that career. And I wanted to be a cartoonist. She said, well, my son draws cartoons. So I called him up and interviewed him and took notes. And then he sent me this. Bill Stokes, to my friend Kenneth Weinert, thanks for the call, and I hope to see you soon. Keep on cartooning. So this is from probably early 1970s, late 1976 or early 76-77 school years when I was in 6th grade. And it looks like I had this planned, but this just happened to be here. And I mean to hang this up, even though I don't think if you did a Google search, you'd probably find out anything about Bill Stokes. I think he was a local artist, but maybe he made something. I don't know, but that means a lot to me. He sent me that. Oh, whatever. We were looking at ACG. These aren't in alphabetical order, are they? They are not. Here's Adventures into the Unknown. Oh, so here's another one of those ones with flaming people, except it's a flaming girl. It's like a female Human Torch. And I have 2 copies of that because every time I see this cover, how can you not buy? If you're not sure you have it, you buy it, because it's like, isn't that amazing? I know you're probably wanting to get this. It's issue 164. Look for it. It's Adventures into the Unknown. Okay, and then this is a character I really like, Herbie. We start Forbidden Worlds number 114. Here's Forbidden Worlds 145. Here's a comic called Gasp. Oh, I love that logo. And here's the 2nd issue of Herbie. Herbie number 3. Herbie number 4. Herbie number 6. These look like people that would vote for Joe Biden. I don't mean to insult Herbie, but you know what I mean. Here's this is cool. Number 11. It's a parody of Beanie and Cecil. Yep, that's 11. Here's 12. Here's another 12. I have 2 issues of 12. It's a purple cover and a gorilla cover, but it's not a DC comic. Over at DC, they knew that purple covers with gorillas, and they would always sell. Number 13. Ooh, and then I'm missing a bunch of issues. Here's 22. Another 22. And then Foxhole. Oh, Foxhole's one of those super comics. So these are reprints of older comics. So I'm going to move that. And here are the Mads I was looking for. This is the 14th issue of Mad. And Mad number 19. And then I have this. This is a ACG from the 80s, or would have been the 90s probably, when they and it's reprints of the stuff from the 60s. Are there any other? And then I've got all these EC books in here. Like this is if it says $1.25, then that means it's reprint from the early 70s, and these are really nice looking. These were, there's been a warehouse find of these recently, so you shouldn't probably pay more than $5 each. They should be worth a lot more than that, but they found a bunch of them recently. That one you just saw, this is a salute to that cover. This is an adaptation of Richard Matheson's Shrinking Man, but the interior art is abysmal in that. Yeah, I think everything else in here are all EC reprints done by... There were a lot of those reprints done when Tales from the Crypt was on HBO, and then they had a Saturday morning Crypt Keeper cartoon also, which is kind of weird because EC Comics were run out of business for being inappropriate for kids, and then a few decades later, there's the Crypt Keeper on Saturday morning. I don't remember that cartoon being any good. Tales from the Crypt series was usually pretty good. I mean, the stories were right from the comic, except they added things to it just because it, you know, really the best thing they could have done with those, if they had set all those stories in the 50s and used 50s production design like they do with Miss Maisel but kept all the violence from the comics, but they had to add in all the F words and the nudity just because it was HBO, and it took away, I think it diminished from the comic book feel of those stories. But that's just me. Anyway, I'm putting Foxhole into this other box. Foxhole will go in between G.I. Joe, Fight, Foxhole, G.I. Joe. Sounds like secret code. Fight, Foxhole, G.I. Joe. Okay. Alright, so I still need to put Spirit in here. Oh, wait, there's an EC. There's an EC reprint. Let me put bad 1950s EC comics. Okay, so whenever I see EC reprints, I try to buy them. What time is it? Man, I wish I had a clock in here. I better be careful with my time because whenever I've saved some Robert Bell bags like this, and just there's no comic in it, but I just wanted to save the bag for historic reasons because they were the very first comic bags. There's Police Against Crime. This one was sent to me by Night Tiger as a gift. This is a fun comic because it's like an EC Western. I mean, it's not EC. It's like Will Elder and John Severin doing the art. It's good stuff. Someone probably needs to reprint these. They probably have. Maybe they've been reprinted by Guadalajara. I don't know. Purple Claw. Okay. Race for the Moon. I was looking at it. Should this be... This is a Harvey comic. I'm almost sure. Yeah, it looks like a Harvey comic. It just says a thrill adventure, but there's something about it looks like a Harvey comic. So I'll say it's a Harvey comic. Here's Racket Squad in action. Real Clue crime stories. Look at these guys. They're digging out of prison and right into police headquarters. This one is different. Usually crime is in giant print. Here, crime is in small print. There's another real clue, crime stories. They've got crime a little bit bigger in this issue. Here's Ready Goose. I don't know how long this show will go because I let the phone go until it just shuts off because I have such little memory in the phone, and so it's very likely the show could shut off at any minute. So I'll go ahead and say good night, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'll see you next time. Stay cool, stay warm if you're in a cold environment. There'll be some cool stuff coming up soon. What is his name? Devin Archer's going to be testifying before Congress. And look how slick I am covering up the price tag. This will be on a wall, a comic book wall. There'll be a Trump rally in, I think, Pennsylvania on Saturday. If you tune into Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube or Rumble, and then there's also Trump is talking at some dinner in Iowa on Friday. Man, you know, looking back on it, there were tons of these Roy Rogers and Gene Autry comics in this condition at Duncanville Books in Dallas. And see, this says $20, but the red dot meant it's half price, so I got this for $10. You know, you can only do what you can do. You can only get what you can afford. Here's the Wonders of Science. Is it Wonders of Science and Pictures? Science comics. Look at that. What does that say there? Oddities about the Great Apes. Oh, the camera's crooked, man. It's always crooked. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't realize that I've been filming crooked the whole time. Just like me, man. Unprofessional. Here's the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. The film, one of the films that truly changed my life. You know, as much as Star Wars, Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, seeing that in second grade. Here's a mint condition copy of Sergeant Bilko. Here's another one. Oh, is that the same issue? I've got two copies in almost the same condition of that. Yeah. How about that? Here's Sheena number 14. From Fiction House. 3D Sheena. Are the glasses in there? I don't think so. My recollection is that they're not in there. I bought these. I bought that Sheena comic when I was, heck, it was in the 80s. Here's Smilin' Jack. Here's one of Hunter Biden's favorite comics, Speed Comics. Can you imagine if that was really the way the flag was put up by crime fighters dressed like that? Speed Comics. Here's another one of those reprint comics from Super Comics, Speedy Rabbit. But it looks cool. Just doesn't have a lot of value, but then that's not why. If you're into comics only for the value, then this is the wrong channel for you, because that's not how I look at things. I'm into comics for the fun. This would be with my other Superman comics, but it's in the board is too wide, so I have to put it in this special box. I've got the same comic that doesn't have the title ripped off. I've got probably 30 copies of this issue, maybe more. Here's Thrilling Crime Cases. You know, I've got another Crime Does Not Pay on the spinner rack downstairs. I need to go take that out of the spinner rack and put it into these boxes. Here's another rip-off Super Comics. These are reprints, Tippy Terry reprints of comics from the 50s, reprinted in 1964. Top Cat, one of my all-time favorite cartoons, right up there with Deputy Dog, and as far as that era. Another one of the earliest Golden Age comics ever got. This is from Lone Star Comics. They had these boxes down underneath the Marvel boxes, and their very first location, they were open from 77 to 78 about, in that first location. And I remember getting this Tip Topper number 23. This reprints different comic strips like Fritzy Ritz and Little Abner and Curly K.O. And then some of them reprint Peanuts comic strip. This is early 50s Charlie Brown comic strips. And that's when I got these. 174. Wait. Tip Top Comics is different from Tip Topper. See, this is Tip Topper. This is Tip Top. Okay. Tip Topper, those are the ones I got at Lone Star Comics. This is Tip Topper 22. See, this comic strip later became Nancy, because Fritzy Ritz was, she was the aunt of Nancy, and then Nancy took over, kind of like Fonzie took over Happy Days, you know. Or Popeye took over Thimble Theater from the Oil family. Okay, this is a comic book about IRS agents. Oh, there's a bunch of cool things going on with the House subcommittee this week. Different things going on. But anyway, who knows what's going to happen? They're talking about, I don't know, man. They say they're flooding us with all these AI images, and then they're going to say, we need to have digital face recognition before you go on the internet and before you buy anything because of all this AI. And in a way to make sure, and then they're going to come up with a score that, you know, you've been being good and thinking correctly before they even let you in a supermarket. So really, the only way you're going to probably survive, if you're like self-contained on a farm and don't need to go to a supermarket to get your food, that may be the only way you're going to make it, unless people wake up and don't allow this craziness to go through. But who knows? Here's Tom Terrific. This was Terry Toon's cartoon that used to play on Captain Kangaroo. This comic at Duncanville Books, they had about 3 copies of this. They were all in not very good condition. This was the one that was in the best condition. It was in a $2 bin. I thought it was cool. Where are the Lone Ranger books, man? Where's the Lone Ranger? I was just looking at oh, that's in the Gold Key Dell. Okay, then I don't know why this Tonto's not over there with the Gold Key Dell. I probably should move it. Toy Town. Yeah, I'm gonna... Well, no, hold on. I'll make sure in a minute. Here's a Turok. I know why this Turok is here. It's too... Maybe not. I need to go look. Hold on. Let me... This is the first price guide I ever got. I was talking about it on yesterday's show. I spent so much time looking at this book. Amazing Fantasy. Look at that. Amazing Fantasy, number 15, Origin and First Appearance of Spider-Man by Ditko, Kirby Ditko cover. In good condition, $80. In fine condition, $120. In mint condition, $160. In 1976 price guide. But I would pour my way through all the pictures of the comics and you know, dream about someday having some of these books. And there would be all these ads in yellow, because it's kind of like the Yellow Pages. This ad I remember seeing for a store called Tanner Miles, and it was a store that was near me. It was Fort Worth, Texas, 612 North Sylvania. Tanner Miles Comics and Things. Buy, sell, and trade. It's got a picture of Vampirella. And there's Tanner Miles. He looks kind of like Thor. But, you know, going to Fort Worth to a comic store, it might as well be asking to go to Paris. Because that was 20 miles away. Ow, my back. That's why I don't do these shows sitting on the floor. Anyway, so I never went, this is 76, I never got to go to Tanner Miles until about 1984 when I was in college. And Tanner Miles did not look like the picture. Maybe he changed a lot in those 4 years. But anyway, he says, he's still around. I'm not insulting him. It just, he didn't look like Robert Redford. Anyway, I bought a lot of movie posters there. It was it was really more of a movie poster store than it was a comic store. It says, "Hi, I'm Tanner Miles. If you're a fan," they misspelled your, the Y-O-U-R. "If you're a fan, come to my new store for comics, big little books, movie material, pulps, monster magazines, comic character toys, and more. If you cannot come in, send for my current comic catalog or movie material catalog." And it says he's a special advisor to the guide. Comics, Golden Age to present, stills, movie posters, lobby cards, press books. Comic catalog, 50 cents. Man, if I could just go back in time. But that's what everybody says, right? Yeah, Tanner Miles. So that was a store that was open. He says my new store, so he was open at least a year before Buddy Saunders opened Lone Star Comics 20 miles to the east in Arlington. See, there's Fort Worth, Texas, you know, and then there's Arlington, and then there's Dallas. It's 3 cities. Arlington used to be small. There was Fort Worth and Dallas, and Arlington was just kind of a suburban community in between. But then Arlington became really big when the GM plant was brought in. And then Six Flags came in. And then the Washington Senators came and became the Texas Rangers. And then now they've got the Dallas Cowboys playing in Arlington. So Arlington's become this big place. Anyway, all these and other cities around all grew together into this megalopolis, and they call it the Metroplex. And that's where I lived from 1976 to last year. And crime was getting worse and traffic was getting bad, and I don't know if that's the best place to go through the apocalypse. So we came to Rural Retreat, Virginia, where things are a little more peaceful. But yeah, Tanner Miles, yeah. Anyway, let me get these boxes put up. I need a clock in this room. Anyway, you helped me organize my Golden Age comics. I appreciate it. Oh, man, I gotta get things ordered. I'm gonna do a major organizing show tomorrow or soon. Oh boy, am I fat. How am I so fat when I've been starving for days? Unbelievable. Yesterday I was showing you the movie ticket for this. I went to see Gamera in the theater at Dallas, and I got this in the theater lobby when I went to see that movie. What is this poster? Oh, this is a good band. You know this band, Girl Trouble? They're friends of a friend of mine. They've got a great song. Look up Girl Trouble, and the song is called My Hometown. It's about Tacoma, Washington. Oh man, I better go see what time it is, because I have to pick my wife up at 6:04. So hopefully it's not 6. Oh, my back is killing me. Oh, boy. So I need to shut the stereo off. I'll turn off the power strip down here. Turn off the light. See how if the dehumidifier needs to be unloaded. No, it seems to be all right. Cats are in here sleeping. That one. There's Pete. Let's turn off the lights. The party's over, ladies and gentlemen. Seems we just get started, and before we know it, it's time to turn the lights off. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's head on down and see what's going on with the cartoons I was recording. Oh man, I think it's time for me to go get my wife. Is it 6 o'clock? Oh my gosh, it's 3 minutes till 6. All right, well, I better head on over. You want to come along with me? You would? All right, let's go over there. Let's see, how far are we into this? An hour and 11 minutes? Ow, I'm 32 seconds, my back. Okay. Oh, my sunglasses. Okay. Okay. Okay.